So now I would like to request Sanjay ma'am to please explain about adult education and use of technology and online education. Yes.
Thank you so much, Pushpinder sir. And I would really like to thank every panelist for uh, pointing out the major points which are to be taken care at the school level, and they have covered all the portions. And I thank Principal Ma'am for giving me the opportunity to talk about a different aspect of national education policy. So today I would be discussing mainly on the other key areas of focus on NEP 2020, and they are adult education and technology use and integration. Now, first adult education. I will start with a concept which we have used in our school as well long back. And this part of adult education, which is included in NEP, is going to give us a area where we can do a lot of community service and can be included in our school as well. And as you can see, there are different aspects which we have done with our workers, the subordinate staff, and because that is the first, see, charity begins at home. So if we start teaching our people, they will spread the education to all other areas. So that was what we are doing at our school level, and we have to still continue to do it at a larger extent. So now I will come to the adult education, what it means in National Education Policy 2020, and the more clear aspects of it, so that we learn what we are going to do in future or face the things in future. So let me first start on with what their aim and objectives are. So adult education is a fundamental right of every citizen, and it gives opportunity to attain fundamental literacy, obtain education, and pursue a livelihood. As we all know that the people of the community are not very well educated, so they face lots of problem in day-to-day life. And we can help them by this adult education uh, to overcome, and because it opens up whole world of personal, civic, economic, and lifelong learning opportunities to enable them to progress personally and professionally. We have found many people standing in ATM cabins and asking others to help how to go ahead with it. They would share their PIN with them because they don't know what is written there in the ATM machines, and they cannot handle the situation. So there is what we are lacking. And this NEP main focuses on adult education so that we can overcome all these things. So just I'll brief you out on the disadvantages of being a non-literate member, which mostly all of us know also and have seen in the society. But what NEP has included, that part let's discuss about. So the first is, if you are an illiterate person, if you don't know how to read and write, so then you have the inability to carry out basic financial transactions, compare the quantity of goods purchased against the price charged, because then you can't compare the things and you don't know about the current situation. Then fill out forms to apply for jobs, loans and services, etc., which we also have faced at many places. All of us has the experience. In banks also, we see the people requesting the others to fill in their withdrawal slips and the forms. Then to comprehend public circulars and articles in the news media. Yes, they depend on other people to tell them about the updates. Then use conventional and electronic mail to communicate and conduct business. Though they know it orally, but if they know how to read and write, they can maintain their own records. and cannot be cheated by others then. Then make use of internet and other technology to improve one's life and profession. Yes, now this is the required or talk of the town and the requirement of today's world. If they know about it, then they can live their professional life in a much better way. Then comprehend directions, safety and directives on the street and on medicines. Yes. Then if they know how to read and write, then they can read the expiry dates of the medicines, what they are buying, and they won't be cheated. Then help children with their education. This is very important aspect of adult education, because the elderly people, they would ask their children or the grandchildren to sit and study, but they don't know what they are doing. So if they are literate, they can at least help them out in doing the work. Then be aware of one's basic rights and responsibilities as a citizen of India. Then appreciate works of literature. Yes, if they are literate, they know what history is behind all the literature part or the scenario, then they can appreciate the work. And pursue employment in medium or high productivity sectors that require literacy. So these are some of the disadvantages of being a non-literate. There are many more in line, but these are the main focuses which NEP has done. So to eradicate all these problems from the life of a non-literate member by making him or her literate. Now, states and union territory governments should treat these abilities listed here as an illustrative list of outcomes to be achieved through adoption of innovative measures for implementing adult education. So these inabilities of being a disadvantages of being a non-literate member should change into the advantages, and that can be done by the adult education, which we have, the NEP has planned. Now, also NEP focuses on the key success factors of adult literacy, and they have jotted down some of the key factors, and they are volunteerism, which plays a very important role, because adult education is not as a service or a job thing where you can earn the blessings only by teaching them. So volunteerism is one of the major key success factors. Then community involvement. Yes, community has to involve into the getting the adult illiterate rate eradicated, and then it increases to adult literacy rate. Then mobilization, political will, organizational structure, proper planning, adequate financial support, high quality capacity building of educators and volunteers. So these are some of the points which are going to help the country succeed and get the adult literacy rate to 100%. Then successful volunteer-based literacy programs results not only in growth of literacy among adults in the community, but also results in increasing demand for education for all children in the community, as well as greater community contributions to positive social change. Now, the National Literacy Mission, when it launched in 1988, was indeed largely based on the voluntary involvement and support of the people, and resulted in significant increase in the national literacy during the period of 1991 to 2011, including among women, and also initiated dialogue and discussion on the pertinent social issues of the day, such as alcoholism. And each one of us know about the strength of women who made it possible that we could, to some extent, eradicate alcoholism and stop it being sold openly in the market for some period of time in some of the states. And now, when see, we have talked about the inabilities or disadvantages of being illiterate, and also we have talked about the steps or key successes. Now we are going to talk about the steps which the government is taking to achieve 100% adult literacy, and they aim to achieve it by 2030 with the help of the educationists and the community. So let's discuss steps one by one. What are their main features? And the very first feature which is planned by the government is an outstanding adult education curriculum framework is proposed. So because it would be like a school education only, you have to have a planned curriculum. Till now, what we have been doing, we were just helping them out, our neighbors, our people around us to learn the signature or do something, some little bit of reading and writing part. But now education curriculum framework is proposed, which will be including the foundational literacy and numeracy, critical life skills, including financial literacy, digital literacy, commercial skills, healthcare and awareness, child care and education, and family welfare. Vocational skill developments with a view towards obtaining local employment is because now we require for even the lowest of the post in any institute, we require a person who is literate, who can read and write at least the basics. So by adult education and improving their vocational skills, we are going to help them out. Then basic education, which includes preparatory, middle and secondary stage equivalency. Depending on the interest and the capacity of an adult, we can even help them out in getting to the qualification wise, like preparatory education first we give, then they can go in for middle and secondary level as well. Then continuing education, which includes engaging holistic adult education courses in arts, science, technology, culture, sports and recreation, as well as other topics of interest and use to local learners, such as more advanced materials on critical life skills. So this is the first step which the government is going to take and is the base of our adult education in national education policy. But when we think about teaching the adults, we need to provide them with the facilities and the infrastructure where they are going to come and do their education. And that is the second step which is going to be taken, that is to provide them with a suitable infrastructure. And in this regard, they have proposed to use the schools, that is after school hours and on weekends when the school buildings are free, and public library spaces for adult education courses, which will be ICT equipped wherever possible, because we would like them to be ICT literate also. They should know about the software and to work on the minimum requirement of ICT. Then the sharing of infrastructure for schools, adults and vocational education will be critical for ensuring efficient use of both physical and human resources, as well as for creating synergy among these three types of education. Now, for these reasons, adult education centers should also be included as an integral part of school complexes or in other public institutions such as public libraries, vocational training centers, etc. And that is why in school scenario, it is so important for all of us to understand what adult education is and what role we can play in helping the government to achieve 100% adult literacy rate. Now the third step, which is very much applicable to us as teachers, instructors as well. So that is a cadre of dedicated instructors, educators or prayers. They are planning to have that group. And what will be their role? So let's see the roles. It will be to deliver the curriculum framework to mature learners. Then instructors of all 5 types of adult education we have discussed earlier, as described in the adult education curriculum framework, will be trained by the national, state and district level resource support institutions to lead, organize and lead learning activities at adult education centers, as well as coordinate with volunteer instructors and tutors. It is not like that we can start the adult education. They have planned each and every step. First, they are going to make a cadre of dedicated instructors, educators and trainers, and then they are going to train them at different levels, and who in turn will come to the coordinate with the volunteers, volunteer instructors and tutors. Then qualified community members will be encouraged and welcome to take part, take short training course and volunteer on a large scale like adult literacy instructors, or to serve as one-on-one volunteer tutor, and will be recognized for their critical services to the nation. This is a very important point they have included. They are giving like option, and it is not only that you are going to work, your work will also be recognized at the national level. Then the 4th point, step which they have taken, will be the participation of community member in adult education. And how can a community member participate or give their services in adult education? Is the social workers would track and ensure participation of non-enrolled students and dropouts, because we see in our society where there are many dropout students, means due to maybe financial conditions, maybe family issues, maybe the other responsibilities they have to shoulder at a very young age. They drop the school and then they start working, and the jobs, they try and find out the jobs which are not even can help them out to run their families properly. But if they are educated, then obviously they can improve their qualifications and get good jobs, and then also can do their own business or startups. They can do that. So social workers are going to track and ensure the participation of non-enrolled students who have not at all enrolled themselves into the school system or are dropouts. Then they will also gather data of parents, adolescents and other interested in adult education opportunities. Because see, we know that in our elders at home, they are not literate, but they don't have they have a keen interest in studies in the system, but they don't have the opportunity. They don't get the opportunity. They don't have the process of how to proceed with it. So these social workers are going to collect that data, and then the social workers would connect them and provide their information to local adult education centers, which will be created by the government at the major cities. Now, and this part, if we have taken care of, will widely publicize the adult education. Even the government is going to do that through advertisements and announcements and through events and initiatives of NGOs and other local organizations. That means all together will work to publicize and bring about the change in adult literacy rate. Finally, any national literacy mission must mobilize community organizations and volunteers in order to achieve large-scale adult literacy rate and education outcomes. And qualified community members who wish to volunteer as adult education instructors or as one-to-one tutors as a service to their communities and to the nation will be welcomed to teach foundational literacy and numeracy and other adult education courses material under the guidance and coordination of adult education centers. So these are the 5 steps which the National Education Policy has planned with the help of the government to achieve 100% adult literacy rate by 2030. But I would like to share what is the today's adult literacy rate. It is 73.2%. Just now we have 73.2% adult literacy rate and 59% of them are women. And about 3 decades ago, it was the adult literacy rate of men was twice as compared to that of women. But now the women have started getting the education more and the gap is reducing significantly. But still, if we are targeting for 100% adult literacy rate by 2030, then each and every one of us has to contribute to this. And see, it is the government who is giving you every opportunity to each one who is already educated and is capable of helping the government out in achieving the target. So governments will work closely with NGOs and other community organizations and support them as necessary in order to enhance efforts towards literacy and adult education. If every literate member of the community could commit to helping teaching one person how to read, it would change the country's landscape very quickly. Now, this mission will be highly encouraged and supported and also funded by the government of India. Now, let's just summarize the adult education and lifelong learning. Innovative initiatives for adults with the help of community participation and technological integration. They can achieve this goal. And integration of adult education centers with HEI, and HEI is Higher Educational Information System, and other public institutions. They are going to integrate with all the educational centers and institutions and then proceed with achieving the 100% literacy rate. Then technology-based high quality options for adult learning such as apps, online courses, modules, satellite-based TV channels, etc. So technology is going to play an important role in making the adult literate. Then online books will also be provided, ICT equipped libraries, adult education centers, etc. would be developed through government and philanthropic initiatives. So these are the main aims of national education policy to bring about in the adult education and get the target achieved. So the adult education curriculum includes the following 5 types of program. It is already discussed and we are just revising it to remember. Foundational literacy and numeracy, critical life skills, vocational skills development, basic education and continuing education. Now all of you would agree with me, I'm sure about it, that if we educate or we provide fulfill these 5 criteria, then every human being in India, every citizen of India would be independent enough to have confidence and earn their livelihood. So that is what we are about, everything about adult education in National Education Policy 2020, and we hope to achieve the target as given in NEP. So my second topic is technology use and integration. I've talked about it in adult education as well, and we are just going to know where India stands. They have talked about it. We are not at all far behind any country. So National Education Policy clearly tells us that India is a global leader in information and technology, and also in other cutting edge domains as space. So we need to just get technology into us and be the leaders with the country. Now, Digital India campaign is to transform the entire nation into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. And education plays a critical role in this transformation. We all know that. And that is why, along with the school education, the NEP is talking about adult education so that not even a single citizen of India remains illiterate. Everybody is literate and educated. And technology plays an important role in improvement of educational processes and outcomes. And relation between technology and education, now we know it is bidirectional. Both of them complement each other. Without technology, education is not complete. Without education, technology cannot be full. So it is a bidirectional thing, and we are into it. And at our school level, you know it. Each one of us are into the technology, and we are using it, integrating it with our system of education. So Birla Balika Vidyapeeth is really fulfilling almost all the criteria of NEP, which we will see to it in details after this. And we are with the video lessons, we are with editing, the online classes, the blended classes, even the blogs, online blogs are there. We are conducting seminars, symposium, even the quizzes, online quizzes, and webinars, and all these things. So we are with the country, with the government, in helping them out to achieve the technology use and integration in every aspect of life. So now let us see what the National Education Policy expects and has to say about the technology use and integration. Now, given the explosive pace of technological development, allied with the sheer creativity of tech-savvy teachers and entrepreneurs, here we are including student entrepreneurs also. So government is not only focusing on the teachers or the employees, but on the student entrepreneurs also. So it is certain that technology will impact education in multiple ways, only some of which can be foreseen at present. See, what we are also doing at our school level, we are presently seeing what is the outcome, but it has a bigger outcome in future. So in times to come, we will know how we have developed professionally ourselves and how our children also have grown in the technology world. Now they are using it freely, and we as teachers are also using it with confidence and with at ease. So this is what is the aim of it, and we'll go in details now. So new technologies, let's just see what new technologies are coming up involving artificial intelligence. Yes, as Achla ma'am has already discussed about the skill subject we have introduced in our school, artificial intelligence is one of them. Then machine learning, blockchains, smart boards, which we are using, but then technology to be learned in advance as well. Handheld computing devices, adaptive computer testing for student development, and other of educational software and hardware will not just change what students learn in the classroom, but how they learn. And thus these areas and beyond will require extensive research both on the technological as well as educational fronts. See, we are using many of them, and now we know it is not changing only the classroom, that they are learning in the classroom, but how they are learning. So that's one of the aspects in the national education policy. Now let's again study about what steps they have taken and what all is there which is coming up in new education policy. It aims at appropriately integrating technology with all levels of education, not leaving from the pre-primary level, as Achla ma'am and even Principal ma'am talked about the education in Finland. Okay, so it is from the very beginning of students' life till the adult education. They are talking about integrating it in all levels of education. And for this, they have made an autonomous body, the new National Educational Technological Forum. And now this National Educational Technology Forum is a what? It's a platform for free exchange of ideas on use of technology to improve learning assessment, planning and administration. It facilitates decision making on induction, deployment and use of technology. And this technology in education to be used to improve teaching, learning and evaluation. And it supports teacher preparation and continuous teacher professional development. It enhances educational access to disadvantaged groups. And it streamlines education planning and administration and management. So what we see is that national education policy has got whole of education system into it. What it has left no stone unturned. It is into every aspect of the system. And so, and this, mind you, the point in the bold which I'm going to tell is what we have to understand and we should know about it. Because this National Repository of Educational Data will maintain all records related to institutions, teachers and students in digital forum. And now we know that when CBSE has taken a wide decision and an initiative of giving all the documents of students in DigiLocker. So this is one of the steps already being taken, and now other things are also coming up. Even our school has taken the initiative of getting the whole data of all the students and all the teachers or the staff members from till the subordinate staff and even the alumni who have passed out from our school. The data has been stored in the ERP form. So that means whenever or at whatever age, if even our children, grandchildren would like to know about details about us, they have the data, they can access the ERP system and then they will get all the data available to them. So that is the joy of using the technology and integrating it with all the firms in the institution. Now, let us talk about the National Educational Alliance for Technology, NEET. That is the autonomous body. The name given to the autonomous body is the National Educational Alliance for Technology. And this has been planned, and let us understand in detail what it is. So objective of NEET, why it is formed, and the objective is to enhance learning, assessment, planning and administration and so on, both for school and higher education. They are talking about all levels of education. The aim of NEET is to provide on a single portal for various educational technology solutions that are tested for their robustness, for improving the learning experience with a special focus on the needs of the students with disabilities. Yes, that Anita Mishra ma'am talked about the special children. Okay, so child with special needs, and they are also taken care in this particular uh, autonomous body. So organization of NEET is, it is an expert body within NEET would facilitate decision making on the induction, deployment and use of technology by providing to the leadership of educational institutions, state and central governments and other stakeholders the latest knowledge and research as well as the opportunity to consult and share best practices with each other. Now the sharing part has to be complete. It has already started. The CBSE is taken up with the Diksha portal and Swam portal. So the sharing part will be taken care by this NEET, the autonomous body. And what are the roles of this? So let's see the roles. To provide best educational technology to the student using a portal. And we know that already different portals are available. Now, to provide intellectual and institutional capacities in educational technology. To provide independent, evidence-based advice to central and state governmental agencies on technology-based interventions through its expert body. Then to envision strategic thrust areas in this domain and to articulate new directions for research and innovation. So these are the roles of NEET, and which is going to help us in getting to work more and more in the technology world. Now, so let's see the steps and the things which again NEET is going to do. It is going to provide a rich variety of educational software which will be made available for the students and teachers at all levels and in all major languages, and will be accessible to a wide range of users, including students in remote areas and with disabilities. And the process has already started because we have again many apps, and even the state governments are providing the digital lessons to on the TV channels. They have made their own TV channels, educational channels, and it is being shared. The educational content is being shared and is received by far no corner of the country. The students, they are getting benefited with it. Then teaching learning e-content will continue to be developed by all states in all regional languages, as well as by the NCERT, including the Central Institute of Educational Technology, CBSE, and National Institute of Open Schooling and other bodies or institutions, and will be uploaded onto the National Teachers Portal so that everybody can access it and get benefited by it. Now, this platform may also be utilized for e-content related to teachers' professional development. Yes, and we can see that in Diksha portal of CBSE, there are trainings, training sessions or even certificate trainings being provided for the teachers, and everyone can join, register and get trained with it. Now, video viewing equipment will be made available to teachers at all schools so that teachers can suitably integrate open educational videos into teaching learning practices. So this is one step which is going to be done by this autonomous body. Then, where the technological interventions which the NEET will be doing are improving teaching, learning and evaluation processes. Yes, there they are going to, from time and time onwards, they are going to conduct workshops, seminars and training for improving the teaching, learning and evaluation processes and supporting teachers' preparation and professional development as well. Then they will be enhancing educational access and streamlining educational planning and management process related to admission, attendance, assessment, everything. in the school scenario, so that you are completely techno savvy. Each one of the employee in any institute would know the technology freely, would be able to use it freely and would know it to an extent which is required. Then the national education policy in technology use and its integration stresses mainly on artificial intelligence, as shared earlier, that this we already have got as a skill subject, and it is there in our classes and the teachers are teaching it. But what expectations are there of national education policy is advancing core artificial intelligence research and developing and deploying application-based research. They are getting into the research part now, because then research would be done and then new things would be developed and new aim and target would be achieved. Then establishing international research efforts to address global changes in areas such as healthcare, agriculture, and climate change using artificial intelligence. Now that means in India also they want the artificial intelligence research to work in all the aspect of community. Now here I would like to just share, you all might have seen the WhatsApp message which was being viral during the corona pandemic. Now in the beginning it was like China, how a robot, that is artificial intelligence, how a robot is taking medicine, food, and all the necessary requirement to a corona patient, knocking on the door, giving it the things to him, and taking orders as well. Even at airport, we have seen the robots going and checking the temperature and the corona symptoms of the travelers. So artificial intelligence is one of the latest inventions, we would say, or the concept which has come, and India also is working upon it. And being an educational institute, we also have taken up that initiative, and we are going to train our children to work on it in details and bring out the new researches and help the country in getting the new research things and new inventions. And that is all what is in technology use and integration. So let me just summarize it. That is, it has enhanced educational access to disadvantaged group, including Divyang students, because that's really going to help them out in learning the concepts very well. Then emphasis on effective models of blended learning, which we cannot do without the technology intervention. Then content creation, digital repository and dissemination, technology integration in teaching and learning assessment. And that has made our life very easy. Now we can share the others' work with the children and our work with others, and it enhances the learning process. And students have the video recordings or the links which they can access at any free time, and they can get benefited by it. And so digital platforms and ongoing ICT based educational initiative to be optimized and expanded. Then a series of pilot studies to be conducted. It is also one of the main objectives of it. Then expansion of existing e-learning platforms. Diksha, Swam, I was talking about already in the beginning. So these are the platforms already made by NCERT and CBSE and are providing us all with lots of good content, including the video lessons, the lesson plans, the question bank, which we can use it to enhance our teaching learning process of the students as well. So this is what the new national education policy has for adult education and technology use and its integration. And the expectations, I hope all I was able to make clear to you what are the expectations, what are the aims and objectives, and what is the role we have to play to achieve the required target or the expectations of the government of India. As teachers, we can do a lot for this, and I think I was able to convey my message, and a very big thank you for listening to me patiently. And I'm really highly obliged to every one of you, and especially I would like to thank in the end Principal Ma'am for again giving us the platform to share our views and express our understanding, which is clearer day by day, and with all the panelists clearing the national education policy concept. I think now I am at least, I would say, very clear about the expectations of national education policy, and hope every one of you also is feeling the same. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yes,
thank you so much.
Sir.
Thank you so much, Dayal ma'am. You have well explained your topics, adult education and use of technology and online education. I would like to thank our principal ma'am who gave us this opportunity to discuss about national education policy, which